I went a little crazy and bought the Hisense U8H Mini LED from Best Buy because it was $8.99 for the 65-inch, and it may still be that price. Check the link in the description. I was in the market for a TV that was around the $1,000 mark, but that's a tough find when I was really looking for a mini LED panel. I was beginning to think I wasn't going to be able to find it. I mean, TCL has their 6 series, which is priced pretty dang competitively as well, but it was just not in stock in my area. LG has their QNED 85 and Sony has their budget-busting X95K. I was really holding off for the X95K by Sony because I'm a Sony fanboy when it comes to their TVs, but then this deal for the U8H presented itself, so I took the gamble. And honestly, I'm glad I did. I have no regrets. Now let's get into the unboxing experience and get this thing up and running so I can show you what it looks like in my space. So I've been looking at mini LEDs for quite some time because of the bright room. This is something that I struggle with. OLEDs don't work in this space, so I was looking for an affordable option, and that's where the Hisense U8H comes into play. Because the Sonys and the Samsungs and the LGs all were above $1,000 or even $1,500 at this size. So this is the 65-inch U8H. And I was lucky enough to score a deal on Best Buy for $900. I'll leave a link in the description. Full disclosure with that, that is my affiliate link, so if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. With that all out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into unboxing this TV and putting it on the wall right there. So looking into the top of the box you see here, there is a leg stowed away there and another leg stowed away there.
We're not really going to be using it because we're going to be mounting it on the wall, but you do have this option. There is some remote control, some cables, and the manual on top of the box as well.
Little clips right here. Pull them off on the side, on the other side. So I want to take an opportunity to talk a little bit about how well packaged this thing is. You can see there's foam in between the screen, and then there's this corrugated cardboard here that's protecting the front. Well done, Hisense. This is really well packaged. Pull this down, and then we're going to put it on the floor. No. Let's leave this for a sec. Hold on, I want to show the ports. Maybe we can talk about the ports right now. What's that? There's this little warning on the top that says don't press on the screen. That goes without saying. Before I move on, I want to talk about port availability. The first and top port that you're looking at here is the USB 3.0 Type A. And down below that is HDMI, the first HDMI port that is only capable of 4K 60 Hz. One right below that is 4K 60 Hz as well. The one below that, the HDMI 3, is eARC enabled and has 4K at 120. And the one below that is 4K 120 as well. So the one thing you're going to miss with port availability is that there are only 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, and these are the only 2 available on this TV. One bad thing about that is that one of them is dedicated to eARC support as well. So if you're going to use a soundbar like I am, you lose support for adding another game system, that is. So this TV may not be for those of you out there that have multiple inputs that require HDMI 2.1 support. Below the 4th HDMI is coax, and then there's an AV in and a headphone jack as well. Towards the back is the 1 gigabit Ethernet LAN port, digital audio out, so it's an optical port, and then a service port as well. One thing that you get with the U8H is a fantastic subwoofer. I'll test it in this video. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be using it because I have a sound bar that I'm going to be connecting to this TV. So, and I'm also going to be wall mounting it, so I don't know the effects of or how the subwoofer will be affected. Anyways, just know that you get a pretty awesome subwoofer that's on the back of this TV as well. Closing out the tour of the back of this TV, there is the power input. The power supply is built in. I kind of like that, where it just has a cable and you plug it in. That's a really nice feature as well. And, whoops. Lay it down. Looking at the bottom of the TV, here are the mounting slots for the feet. You can either go wider with the position 1 or narrower with position 2, and that goes for both sides of the TV. One final thing I want to note while we're looking at the bottom of the TV, while we have this awesome availability to showcase this to you, is the mute toggle switch for Google TV. That will allow you to mute that in a physical form. One thing that you will note is that if you mute it, it will illuminate the 3 LEDs on the front. I'll showcase that a little bit more when we get this thing mounted on the wall. I just wanted to talk quickly about the mounting positions for the feet because I'm not going to be using them here in this video. Just know that they exist and there are 2 positions for them to be placed. One really annoying thing about the U8H is its base and mount availability. You can see that these mounts are recessed a little bit, so I'm going to have to break out some hardware to kind of figure out how I'm going to get the bracket mounted for wall mounting. A lot of mounts there, but there is a regular bracket mount for this TV, and it's a little bit curved, so that's one thing you're going to want to note as well. So if we look at the TV from the side angle here, you can see the curvature of the back of the TV. That could be a little bit problematic depending on what type of wall mount that you have and your availability to hardware. So let me see if I can figure out how to get that little thing not as recessed as it is so I can get my brackets mounted and then put this TV on the wall. So here's the combination of hardware that I needed to use to get the wall mount brackets on the back of this TV. As you can see, there's a smaller spacer there and a smaller screw for the top, and then I needed the longer screw and a larger spacer for the bottom. It ended up working out, but just make sure that you have the hardware if you're going to mount this TV on the wall like I'm doing here. This is where it gets real fun. You can't see that we're gonna pick up this TV and get it mounted, so bear with us.
Up, 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 like this. Yes, yes, it's up on it.
What about the other side?
It is, it's just not on the bottom. Like this, yep, yep. It's perfect, it's on it, yes.
So before I secure the U8H to the wall mount, I wanna show you guys what my wall mount is doing in blocking the subwoofer here. You see, it's an unfortunate loss on my part, but this is where the TV is gonna go. I think the subwoofer would work fantastically with different types of wall mounts maybe, or if you just, use the legs and put it on a TV stand or something like that. So unfortunately, that's gonna be the hindrance in my test of the subwoofer, so just know that that exists. There's even more plastic around the edges.
I just saw that.
Extra protected. So I lied a little bit. That is the mute toggle switch for Google TV. That's a physical mute switch, so go ahead and flick it. And as soon as you do that, the TV illuminates those 4 LEDs and they stay on. There's no way to turn those off. The only way to turn them off is to enable the microphone. You could put a little bit of gaffer's tape or something on top of it if you wanted to keep it that way, but I wish you could switch that in the settings, like flick that switch and then turn off the lights in the settings some way, but that's not possible. When I was showcasing the bottom of the TV, that is actually the power button, so I didn't want to get that confused. I had to make a correction here. So that is what exists on this little module in the middle of the TV at the bottom of it. So there is the IR sensors right next to the power button indicator. Right next to the microphone though, there is a little open window that has a bunch of weird writing in it. So I don't know, maybe I'm sacrificing all of my privacy with this TV. So one thing I'm going to try with the Hisense U8H is increasing its throughput on its Ethernet. USB 3 has a little bit more throughput capability than 1 gigabit LAN port on the back. So I got these little adapters that take Ethernet and transfer it into a USB 3. I'm going to plug that in on the side of the TV to see if I can increase my internet speeds on this thing. We'll report back shortly. I'm not super excited about this remote. It's super flimsy and super plasticky feeling. It's like really, really cheap feeling. But I guess there are some sacrifices that you have to make when you get into this price range of TV. So just so you know, some of the reviews I've watched on this TV say that the remote's okay. In my opinion, this is crap. All right, getting into setting this TV up, you will notice that Google TV gives you the option to set this TV up as a basic TV, or Hisense is allowing you to do that with their setup. So what that means is that I could just go to basic TV and utilize a different type of TV box like Apple TV, Roku, or something of that nature. So that is a good addition, or at least an option for individuals that want to, get the Hisense U8H. I am going to set this up as a Google TV. Okay, so let's do a test of the internet speed on this TV through the included Ethernet port on the back of this, and then we'll plug it into the USB 3.0 port using that adapter that I was talking about earlier. So here is the Ethernet port connected directly to the TV. So on both download and upload, around 98 megabits of throughput on that port. So let's just do this real time. I'll unplug it and plug it back in via there, and then we'll rerun this test as appropriate. So unplugging from the back of the TV on the included Ethernet port, and plugging it in using the adapter. I'll leave the adapter linked in the description. That is, if you're interested in doing the same thing. So network connection lost. Let's see if it'll reconnect. Connected pretty quickly via the port. Let's rerun the test. I have fiber internet, so I have bi-directional or sequential upload and download at 1 gigabit. So this should be a significant increase on both ends, for both up and down on this test here. It went a lot quicker, and it's almost triple the speed. The upload is significantly faster. So I was getting a whole, this is freaking fantastic. So I'm gonna leave it connected this way. I recommended you do the same because that adapter was like 12 bucks. Totally worth it if you have faster internet and wanna have faster throughput on the TV. It becomes way more responsive. As you can see, I can stream all the way up to 8K if I wanted. That's just something for you to know.
Doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll. Me, you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything's on me. Oh, you matter what. It's on me, everything's on me, gon' back it up. Told ya I'ma do me, why you hating on me?
Let's talk some specs. This mini LED has over 500 dimming zones, which contribute to the inky blacks and nearly non-perceptible blooming, giving the U8H the performance, dare I say it, to compete with OLEDs. It's really that good. It has Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos packaged in it. There's quantum dot capabilities in this panel as well, giving gaming the love that it deserves when you're considering a TV for gaming. All of these features are powered by Google TV within this system. There's also a 55 and 75 inch version of this TV. Again, links in the description if you want to check those out. So far, I've watched movies, some sports, regular cable TV that's going through YouTube TV, and done a significant amount of gaming on this TV using the PlayStation 5. Let's break those down individually. I have to say, watching movies is an absolute treat. This TV is so bright and detailed that it really pulls out some of the great detail in extremely bright rooms like I have here. The mini LED helps suppress blooming and push some of the great detail and color to the screen. I'm just extremely happy with the performance that I am receiving from the U8H as of the time of this video. I mean, this is just a fantastic TV. Sports and broadcast TV are okay. The U8H sometimes seems to struggle with low bitrate signals. The TV seems to take that low quality footage and make it look even worse. I think it's because the TV is so sharp and detailed. The low quality signals seem to look even worse, or even it's more noticeable and more perceptible on this absolutely beautiful panel. It handles sports decently if you're okay with the occasional judder. If you flip it to sports mode, that seems to deal with it. That's not to say the U8H is not worth it and it doesn't work. It's just something I wasn't really super impressed with. It's not a knock on the TV because after all it's said and done, it's under $1,000 and it delivers everything that I need in the package under that $1,000. So if I remove all the comparison lenses from my, the way that I'm communicating this to you is that look at it for the cost of the TV and what you get for that cost. The return on your investment in this TV is extremely high because you get a ton of great features. Now, gaming, it is absolutely superb. Let me say that again, absolutely superb. VRR, HDR, and ALLM are all supported on this TV using the PlayStation 5, delivering such a phenomenal gaming experience at the full 120 hertz glory. The bright, vivid details add all I could ever want in a casual gaming experience. I absolutely, positively love gaming on this TV. If you're a console gamer and you're considering an upgrade to your TV, the U8H should absolutely be high on your list for consideration. This first impressions video is getting long in the tooth. If you're interested in a full review, I'll circle back on this thing maybe a year out. So feel free to subscribe if you're interested in following up on how that ends up in the end. Before I close, I have nothing to disclose. I bought this TV with my own hard-earned cash. If you're interested in pricing and availability, it will be linked in the description. Full disclosure, those are affiliate links, so making purchases through that allows you to support content creation here on this channel without costing you anything in addition. It's just a way for you to contribute back to the work that I did on these types of videos, and I am very appreciative of your support. Well, that about does it for me in this one. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I'm Tomas, and I'll catch you in the next one.